it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and I hope you are having a great day today. So today I thought I would colour in my Rooms of Wonder colouring book, and I've selected a picture which is the one of the honeycomb and the beehive. I think it's a gorgeous picture, and I'm hoping to do it in autumn colours. So it's autumn here in Australia, although you really couldn't tell. It's been more like summer the last week with the temperatures in the 30s and above. It's been so hot and so humid, but hopefully it's going to be more like autumn soon, because I really am getting sick of watering the garden and filling the pool up with water. It's just been a crazy summer, autumn, whatever it might be here. So anyway, I'm going to colour Johanna's picture with the Arrtx coloured pencils, and hopefully maybe do the flowers in an orange. It won't be today, that'll probably be next time we colour together, but maybe the flowers in orange or reds, or maybe I'll have to get some inspiration from somewhere, but I'm thinking oranges and reds and browns and things like that. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll give the honeycomb a whirl today with these colours that I've worked out on a bit of paper, that they'll look okay together, so hopefully that will work fine as well. We've been busy with, as I said, it's more like summer, so we've been taking Buddy to the beach quite a bit, and the last few times we've taken Buddy to the beach, he's had a really great time swimming, and David has gone in swimming with him, but when we've got home, David comes out in this rash and all these lumps, and it's really weird. Anyway, last night we were doing some Googling because he came home and he put the clothes on that he'd worn to the beach the other day. They hadn't been washed in between, and within about an hour he came out in all these lumps all over his body. Anyway, after some Googling, we worked it out. I've never heard of it before, but it's called sea lice, and apparently that they're so itty bitty and tiny, and they get on your clothes and on your body, and it's why you have to shower off or wash your clothes that you're wearing. And yeah, they basically get on there, and they sort of, you can't even see them with the naked eye, they're so little. And they give you these bites and welts, and compared to some of the pictures that we've seen on Google, they are horrific what people have gone through with these sea lices. David's isn't so bad, but he's got quite a lot of the bites on him, and we didn't have any of the products that they said to put on it, and of course the chemist was closed by then, so just put piles of calamine lotion on it, and that kind of stopped the itching, because it's really horrendous itching as well. So I'll be curious to know if any of you have ever experienced this sea lice thing. I've never heard of it, never seen it before, but really leaves some marks on your body, and poor David's going crazy scratching himself with it, which luckily most of them are on his back and whatnot, so he can't reach them to scratch, because they look like they would become infected if you scratched at them. So hopefully today after work he'll get something and he can get rid of them really quickly. The other ones went, when he first went swimming, he got these lump things again, and I put calamine on them, and after a couple of days they sort of went away and they stopped itching. So maybe he won't even need the thing from the chemist, and maybe it'll just go away. But talk about horrific. And with if you're in the colouring group, my colouring group, and you haven't checked in for a while, we're also colouring in a picture from this book, Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, as a group colour along. If you want to join in, we've I selected it, the picture of the pineapple with the little scene inside, because I think it's super cute and I wanted to colour it in, and I've found a few people that want to colour it in as well. So if you are one of them and you have that book, please join in. I'll be putting an album up in the group if you want to add your pictures to it, etc. And I think next time we do a group colour along in the group, might even do it like a live stream or something like that, so we can chat in person. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's been actually quite difficult for me to do any work lately or do anything really for the colouring channel because of a few problems. The first of it is that we've got a lot of roadworks going on around our area, and so once a week they turn off all the power and the internet. So I've had it happen now 3 times where I've had no power, no electricity, no internet for the whole day. And as I said, it's been really hot, so poor Buddy is like really suffering without the aircon, and I'm going crazy because there's nothing to do. You know, I need lights and power to do anything. And one day I did gardening and that passed the time for a bit. Another day I sort of went a bit shopping and did things like that, but because of Buddy's medication schedule, I always have to keep coming back home and giving him his medication. So, I mean, I hope they're going to be finished soon because it really is getting tiresome. And you know, every week they're putting a card in the mailbox saying we're going to shut off the power from 7 o'clock in the morning till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then you get another message from your internet provider saying no internet between these hours. So it's making life very difficult to do things, and as I said, we're on our 3rd bout now, so I hope they get these roadworks done soon. I think that's what's causing the power to get taken off. Anyway, the first world problems, hey? But I've got little Billy here today with me. She's being minded. That's my neighbour's dog. She's half Scotch Terrier and half a Bichon Frise, and she's actually had a little stay in hospital. She ate some of her mummy's Panadol headache tablets, and yeah, they had to take her to the emergency and induce vomiting. Luckily her mummy is a vet nurse, and she was closely monitored, and sort of, because she's so tiny, she was able to be carried around in like one of those baby slings while her mum was at work. So even though she spent like virtually a week in the hospital, most of it was just being carried around in her mum's baby sling while she went about her work. So, but she's fine now, thank goodness, but because she's so tiny, even eating 1 Panadol is quite a lot for her little body. So it's super nice to have her back and well over here. I don't know if I told you that last time, I can't remember. Buddy is on some new medication and that's working out really well for him. For those that are new to the channel, my dog Buddy has severe epilepsy, and he's now on 5 medications a day while we try and wean him off 1 medication that wasn't working that well. So his epilepsy hopefully will get a bit more managed with this new medication. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see how that goes. And we've also still been doing our house hunting. We're looking to move house. We haven't really found anything that's tickled our fancy or within the budget that we're looking at, so we'll keep trying. I think we get so sick of looking at the real estate, pages. I don't know if you guys have ever been house hunting recently, but here in Queensland, no one's putting a price on things anymore, and it's just really frustrating, when you see these houses for sale and they're like, call the agent, and it basically means that they really don't know what the price is or how much anyone's willing to buy or the vendor's willing to sell for, but it just makes the whole thing frustrating. I'd just rather search, within our price bracket and sort of look and see if there's anything there that might tickle our fancy and is doable and is a home that we would be comfortable in. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I just can't imagine us finding anything soon, to be honest. We've been looking now for months and months, and we've tried different areas. We've gone from north of Brisbane to south of Brisbane. We spend the weekends driving to different places to see if they would be somewhere that we would be comfortable living and easy for David to get to work. But so far, you know, the places that we like, they don't seem to have a lot of properties on the market, and none of the properties are suitable. Either they're double story, or which Buddy is, he really needs a single story house, or they've just got too little land, like they don't have any grassy area for Buddy to play on, or you know, play with the ball or do anything really. So yeah, it's very frustrating. I can't remember it being this frustrating when I've bought houses before, but anyway, hopefully it'll work out soon. Now, some of you have been asking how my eye is. So for those that don't know, I developed a lump in my eye a couple of months ago, and it's sort of half over my eye. It's causes me to blink hundreds and hundreds of times a day, and I can't really see much out of it, and it's really been driving me nuts. And so I went and seen one of the doctors that work at the surgery where my real doctor is, because she wasn't available, and he gave me a cream to put on for a week, suspecting that it was a virus or something. Anyway, I used it for a week. It did absolutely nothing, and when I went to book in with my doctor, she was on holidays. So anyway, long story short, I went to see my doctor, and she immediately said that it was a skin tag, and she's scratching her head on how I could possibly get a skin tag on my eyelid. But here we are. I seem to manage to get these things that she can't figure out why on earth I would get them. But anyway, and because it is brushing on my eye constantly, she believes it's quite dangerous and needs to be removed. So she was able to get me in with a specialist, and I seen the specialist last week, and he said yes, it is a skin tag on my eyelid, and he will need to stick a needle in my eye and basically sort of burn it off. None of that filled me with any sense of happiness or comfort. And for those of you that don't know, I have an anxiety disorder. I'm terrified of needles, and I really don't like the medical profession much either. Sorry in advance to anyone that works in that industry. It's nothing to do with you. It's more about my terrible phobia with needles and everything else. So anyway, because it is brushing up against my eye and it's very uncomfortable, it's difficult for me to colour in, I've decided to let him stick the needle in my eyelid, and that's going to happen in a few hours time, which is probably why I am talking fast and really anxious, because I am really anxious. Anyway, he's given me a Valium to take an hour beforehand, and so I can't drive, so I've got to get an Uber down there, take a Valium beforehand. He says it'll only take a few minutes to do, so that's comforting. And I'm going to take my soft, cuddly little Lola the Ladybug soft toy with me, just to hold on to, because yeah, it's hours away and I'm already getting anxious about it. So hopefully it's all going to be fine, and hopefully by this afternoon it will be gone. He said there'll be like a scab or something on it for a few days, so I don't know how much that's going to affect my vision, but obviously I can't drive today, taking Valium and things like that. So, hopefully it'll all be good this afternoon, but I am, quite anxious about it and quite nervous, but, hopefully it'll all work out. A lot of people have been asking me about colour wheels for the Black Widow pencils. I have been trying to do that colour wheel. It has taken me a lot longer than what I would have thought, because initially I did lose a couple of pencils, and then later, luckily, I found them. But when we packed up my office so my mother-in-law could stay and have that room, unfortunately, you know, a lot of things were packed away and we're now just bringing them back out again, and it's quite a large job, and we've decided to rearrange things in a different way. So I do need to sort of get those out and complete the colour wheel. I also wanted to change it a bit, and someone suggested previously that a legend for the numbers would be better than the way I'd done it with writing the numbers on there, and they felt that the way that I had done it was the wrong way. So yes, I'm going to try and work out the legend for that as well, and you know, make the colour wheel for the pencils. But because there's 180 pencils in the Black Widow set currently, that's quite a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if Black Widow bring out more, and it just means that the colour wheel will constantly need to be updated if that's the case. So I'm not too sure about whether I would do it for that reason as just one colour wheel, or my preference probably as two colour wheels, one with cool colours and one with warm colours, just because of the fact that Black Widow keep bringing out new sets of pencils, unlike something like Prismacolor or Holbein or Polychromos that stick to a standard set and don't keep bringing out a new set of colours, because it makes it pretty awkward to redo the whole thing again for that amount of pencils. So my preference is sort of to do it as the two wheels with the legend that was suggested by somebody, but I'll see how it goes when hopefully my eye clears up enough that I can see those sorts of smaller details that make it easier to do the colour wheel for me. During the week while the power was off the other day, I gave myself a little project of sorting out the Prismacolor, Polychromos and Arrtx pencils into a colour comparison chart, and it's really amazing how different the pencils are. Like, there's actually very few, especially in the Prismacolor to Polychromo series, that are sort of very similar colours. So that was quite an experience, and hopefully I will have a little downloadable chart for you on that next week. Now, before I do go and make my way to the surgery to get this thing on my eye removed, I did want to have a little chat to you guys about AI, or artificial intelligence. Now, I'm not going to say a lot about it today because I have actually been working on a blog post for I think it's probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and seriously, the thing has gotten bigger than Ben-Hur, my blog post. AI as well. So for those of you that don't know what AI is, it's artificial intelligence. It is being used across the board in many, many different applications. You can use it on audio, you can use it on video, you can use it in text. But in the colouring world, most people are concerned about its application to artificial intelligence generated images. And this is an extremely complex topic. It really is complex, and that's why my article on this has taken weeks and weeks for me to formulate. And every day I keep thinking of more things that I want to say about it. And unfortunately, that has made the article just blow out to proportions that no one in their right mind would want to read it, because it's like a textbook. So I'll now have to refine my article a bit more, and I'm hoping that my eye will be a lot better tonight or tomorrow, that will allow me to go in and sort of read that and refine it a little bit more. But I know some people have been wondering what my position is on AI art, And it's not that I don't care, and it's not that I don't think it's of a concern or any of those things. It's just that I have been working on my thoughts on AI art for a couple of weeks now already, and I really think, before I release that, I really need to refine it, because it is really very, very long and lengthy. And even once I refine it, it will also be pretty long and lengthy as well, because quite frankly, I have a lot to say about it. And every day, I keep thinking about more things that I need to say about it. But like many people, I have spent time, I'm not going to write an article on what my thoughts are about a subject without actually trying it out. And I have tried out every AI art generator pretty well on the market that's available for public testing. I've created numerous images with varying bits of quality. I've studied numerous, not only YouTube channels, but also people that have courses on AI. And I have to say that it is extremely intriguing, and it's very, very interesting. And I can really understand why people would like to express their creativity in this way. I think it's definitely something that people will want to do, but I do have other concerns as well. And it's not that I hate AI at all, that's completely not the case. I actually am super excited about the AI technology that's been available to the public. I think it's going to be incredibly useful across a number of different applications. They're using it at the moment in the legal field, being able to upload thousands and thousands of documents and have AI search through it and look for things that you might ask it for. It just saves so much time, and then that saving can be passed on to the client or the consumer or whoever it might be. There's a lot of applications for AI which I think are really, really interesting and really, really incredible, and they're going to make life so much easier. And with that, there will come significant change. There will come loss of jobs. And I know what that's like, because I lost my job to a computer. My very first job, I was a bookkeeper, and there were two of us, and we got computerized. Yes, I'm that old. And I lost my bookkeeping job and became the office manager. So it's not like I lost a job and became completely unemployed. I got a different job, and I think that's what's going to happen with AI. I think there will be some jobs that will be lost, especially in the AI art world. And I think there will be some jobs that will now be different, like instead of being a writer, you might more be an editor. And just like my partner David, he was a printing compositor. So if anyone knows what that means, it means that you basically used to get these text blocks, and they basically were like little metal blocks, and they would create the text for different magazines or whatnot out of these little text blocks. Now, I know some of you are sort of thinking, how on earth could that be? And this is all pre-computers. Both he and I sort of were at that turning point where computers were coming in, but they weren't being universally used. And sort of like a year or so later, everything was computers. So we were sort of the wrong age at the time. And so he was a compositor, and he used to just sort of set these little blocks and make these little pieces of text, and when the text was made, the little metal parts of the blocks would all be melted down, and then they would be reused. And then computers came, and again he had the option to train on the computers and do the same sort of thing, or just to leave, and he just left and started a different life. So it's not like either of us have ever been affected by these changes, and I think that's what AI is going to do. It's just going to disrupt the way that we currently do anything in our world. It's going to change everything. It's like the industrial revolution of technology. And to me, it's like a roller coaster. It's incredibly exciting, but it's also really, really scary, because there are some things that humans will be replaced by, and whether that's ethically or morally right, I don't know. But I do have a lot of thoughts about AI in the art community, and I will be releasing that blog post talking about the different issues as I perceive it with AI art and in the colouring book community. But hopefully that will be this week, and hopefully it can be something that we can talk about in a mature and adult way, and sort of have a balanced conversation about these sorts of things. At the moment, I see that there is a lot of tension and emotion about the topic, and I really think maybe we could just talk about it in a calm manner, and see where we end up, and what we think of it, and how we think it might progress. I think either way, even if we agree or we don't agree, it's an interesting conversation to have. And yeah, I have got to say, the thoughts about AI and what it's going to do for so many different areas is really exciting to me. I can see it cutting through a lot of the dust and a lot of the productivity and changing things and how we do things. But also by doing that, there's also, on the other hand, we're going to lose a lot. We're going to lose a lot of being able to think laterally and critically for ourselves when we can pass this on to another robot, if you like. We're going to maybe lose some of our humanness, if that makes sense, because a lot of things will now be done by artificial intelligence. It doesn't have the human emotion and those sorts of feelings, and maybe a lot of things really need that for us to be a productive society. I would be really interested in what you think. I know there is an ongoing thing at the moment where someone is offering up $1 million if a court will use AI as a judge to decide a case. And that sounds really good in one way, because it will unclog the system, which is terrible. Legal courts are just so backlogged, it's unbelievable. And using AI judges will be cheaper and more cost effective, and have the ability to get through some of these bottlenecks in the system. But morally, I just wonder how right that would be, and how much of that human level we might need. But on the other hand, AI could be seen as an unbiased judge, but then again, they are naturally biased by the training data that is used to train them. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting conversations to be had, and I think it's exciting, and I also think it's really, really scary. So I would love to know what you think, and I really do hope that I get that article finished on what my views are on AI in the colouring book world at the moment. And I hope that I can get that out by the end of the week. But in the meantime, I would love to know what you think and how you see it being of use in the world and in the colouring book community. So that's it for me. I'm about to take the plunge and go and get this thing off my eye. So until next time, stay safe and happy colouring.